guys, welcome back. Andrew here with Ambient Endeavors, and today we're taking a look at another in the line of tube-powered preamps from Tubesteader. It's their Magnezium. It's a dual-channel, dual-tube preamp that kind of captures the tones and the feel of the Magnatone Super 59 circuit. And I gotta say from the get-go here, Tubesteader is probably one of my favorite new discoveries in the last year or so in the pedal world. They've been around for a lot longer than that, but these tube-powered preamps that they've been offering in different shades and flavors and circuits have been really impressive since demoing their Lightkeeper earlier this year. You can check the link in the corner there if you're interested in that pedal, but they're really doing some cool things in the world of pedals by bringing that tube element to them. And after playing that pedal, I was just really impressed. I was impressed enough to get some of their pedals in at my shop, Little Box Effects. So if you're interested in the Lightkeeper, in this Magnezium, or any of the other offerings that they have, you can scoot over to Little Box via the link in the description and grab one for yourself. One thing I've really been impressed with this Magnezium, as well as the Lightkeeper and the Tubesteader tube-powered preamps, is the way that they kind of infuse direct rigs with that warmth, that dynamic kind of feel, and that little bit of sag that you get from real tubes. These pedals run up at 250, I think 250 or 300 volts through some beefier power supplies, and so you really do get the tubes working in the way they should to deliver some of that warmth and character of a tube in a tube amp. And so for this video, I've been running the Magnezium as my amp essentially into the UA Ox Stomp, set up with a speaker and mic setup there and a little bit of reverb too. But it has really been impressive the way that these pedals interact with that system and really do give you that kind of tube warmth that really can deliver some of those qualities and some of that feel that you get from playing a real tube amp, with the flexibility and the convenience of just having it be in pedal form, that you can swap it in and out of your board or your rigs, pair it with different IRs or cab simulators as you'd like. So that's a really, really cool advantage of these pedals. And also it shows as you stack pedals going into these amps. Sometimes when I'm running gain into digital modelers, there can be some weird artifacts, there can be some challenges or struggles to really get that saturation and that overdrive and that breakup to kind of just feel and sit right. And I noticed in this video as I was writing the sketch and playing through the pedal board here, that sending dirt into these two pedals really does kind of create this cool buffer, not in the sense of a signal buffer, but just kind of allows for the tubes to do their thing, to add a little bit of compression, a little bit of sag to your signal before hitting the digital IR or cab sim device there. And I just have been impressed with the way that these pedals handle dirt coming in. So they really do make cool pedal platforms, even if you're running them sort of end of chain as your amp on your pedal board. And the way that they interact with dirt is really pretty amp-like, in that you can run some overdrive into your amp and you can get that dynamic and that kind of give and take and push and pull there as you push it into saturation, and it sort of does it in a more organic, more natural way than how sometimes the digital saturation and breakup can kind of start to feel. So, but we're going to talk through the Magnezium, kind of talk about what makes it special, what jumped out to me in terms of context and usability, and then here's some sound samples and a few different contexts with it. If you enjoy these kind of videos, if you're a pedal or a guitar nut that has appreciated or watched these videos but haven't yet subscribed, please hit the subscribe button below and keep up to date on the upcoming videos here on the channel. It's a huge help and support to me to be able to keep doing these videos. If you've got questions as we go along or thoughts about the pedals or the gear that I'm using, please drop a note in the comments as well. I love to chat gear and music and all things down there too with you. Digging into the Magnezium, like I mentioned, it's a dual channel, dual tube preamp pedal here. You have a bypass switch on the right to turn it on and off, and then you have a channel switcher on the left And then you essentially have two control sets for different channels of the amp. You have on the bottom the blue channel, which has master volume, and then a treble, mid, bass tone stack here with a gain control at the right. The blue channel definitely leans cleaner. You can get some really nice but bold and round clean sounds out of the blue channel while still getting some overdrive and saturation as you crank that gain control past about noon or 1 o'clock there. And then the top channel, the red channel, really kicks it into overdrive with a little higher gain voicing. I think you have an extra preamp stage there to give it a little more of that kind of like Plexi feel, more saturation and overdrive as you turn the gain up on that channel. So you do kind of have the like clean and drive channels, and you can switch between those with the foot switch on the left here. From the little I know of that Magnatone circuit, there's some comparisons or some kind of lines to be tied between a couple of those other amps from that era, where you have Bassmans and Plexis kind of being just different evolutions or iterations of themselves with some tweaks. And so I can definitely hear some of those like textures and sounds in this pedal. But there is really some nice tones from clean, sparkly, bold, full, clean sounds to that really beautiful higher gain saturation that you'd expect from an old Marshall. There's a lot of low end presence to this pedal. You get a pretty full sounding tone and texture, and so it's nice to have the 3-band EQ here. What I've noticed as I've sort of played the pedal is that I like to kind of run the treble pretty high up, even past 3 o'clock or so, to eke some of that brightness out of it, and usually end up dialing the bass back just to kind of tame the low end and not have it be so overpowering. That's honestly what I experience when I'm plugging into an old Bassman or some of those old amps like that, is that the bass can get pretty overwhelming unless you tame it, and sometimes you do have to kind of nudge the high frequencies out as well. So we're going to be using Brown Amps Gridador, their Tube Screamer style pedal, into Strymon L Cap for delay, then onto the Magnezium, and then like I mentioned onto the UA Ox Stomp as the cab sim with a little bit of reverb, along with that cab simulation and mic simulation there. Thanks again for checking out this video. Like I mentioned, if you're interested in picking one of these pedals up or any of the other Tubesteader line, please go check out Little Box Effects, and please drop a note or comment below in the comments if you want to chat. Let's check out some sound samples.